My dad ran a breakfast shop in the urban village for 30 years. His one ironclad rule: freshly steamed meat buns absolutely cannot be taken to go. They have to be eaten in the shop. He even painted that rule in half-meter wide red paint, plastered right on the white wall next to the steamer. I never really understood it, until today when he was hospitalized for kidney stones and I went to cover his shift. My dad called. "Did you let a customer take meat buns to go? Go chase them down and get them back." Our shop is called Chun-ji Old Shop. The crust crumbles into flakes. Business has always been good, especially the meat buns my dad makes by hand. Thin skin, big filling, rich with juice. Every morning before dawn, people line up. That day, before the sun was up, I followed my dad's orders and came to the shop to start working. I took off my jacket, changed into a blue work uniform, and began kneading dough, mixing the filling. These tasks I've done since I was a kid. I could do them with my eyes closed. Even though I hadn't done them in years, my body still remembered. At 5 in the morning, the first batch of buns came out right on time. I lifted the steamer lid, and scorching white steam burst out all at once, carrying a rich meat aroma that instantly filled the entire small shop. Each bun, plump and white, crowded in the steamer, the pleats gleaming. "Boss, 2 meat buns and a bowl of soy milk." The first customer was Uncle Wong from the nearby construction site. He's always first every day. "Coming right up," I answered, mimicking my dad's tone, and quickly brought it over. Uncle Wong took a big bite, sucked in air from the heat, but mumbled in praise, delicious." I smiled and said nothing. Then customers started showing up one after another. "Boss, for meat buns, 2 bowls of rice porridge." The shop filled up fast. The cramped space buzzed with chatter, slurping porridge, chewing sounds, and that inescapable, earthy atmosphere of everyday life, a mix of sweat and the smell of food. I was running around nonstop, taking money, serving plates, clearing tables, working like 3 people. It was exhausting, but watching the cash box fill with more and more coins, I felt a small sense of satisfaction. Maybe keeping this shop isn't so bad. That thought had just popped into my head, when a voice at the door cut it off. "Oh, isn't this Chun Hui? What are you doing selling buns here?" The voice was sharp and mean, dripping with that smug superiority I knew all too well. I jerked my head up. At the door stood a man and a woman. The woman wore a designer dress, had flawless makeup, and carried a bag I couldn't name but clearly knew was expensive. It was Lin Yu, the ex-girlfriend I dated for 3 years. Thought we'd make it to the end, but she broke up with me because I couldn't afford the diamond ring she wanted. Beside her was a pot-bellied man. His hair slicked back with grease, a shiny gold watch on his wrist blinding me. One arm was wrapped around Lin Yu's waist, the other hand playing with a set of Land Rover keys. I felt all my blood rush to my head. What a small, cruel world. The last person I ever wanted to see, showing up when I was at my most pathetic. I stood there in my greasy work uniform, covered in flour and sweat, looking like a joke. And her, dazzling and polished, like a proud princess. "What are you doing here?" I squeezed the words out through gritted teeth, my voice flat and dry. Lin Yu looked me up and down, curling her lip. Her eyes were like she was staring at a stray dog on the street. "I'm here with Brother Wong to handle some business and grab breakfast. Heard the buns here are famous. Didn't expect it to be your place." She said, "Didn't expect," but her tone was dripping with a just as I thought kind of sneer. That fat guy, Brother Wong, chimed in, his voice greasy like an unwashed pot. "Xiao Yu, this is that college classmate you mentioned?" He emphasized college classmate. "Yeah, Chen Hui, let me introduce you. This is my boyfriend, Wang Hao." "Hello." I couldn't even be bothered to look at him. I spat out 2 words coldly. "Pretty cocky." Wang Hao snorted dismissively, tightening his arm around Lin Yu. "Xiao Yu wants to try your meat buns. Heard they're famous. Wrap up 10 for us to go." My heart dropped. To go. I instinctively glanced at those blood-red words on the wall. "Sorry, our shop rule. Freshly steamed meat buns can't be taken to go." I pointed at the red letters on the wall, trying to keep my tone professional. This was my dad's non-negotiable rule, and my only defense right now. "You came here to show off? Well, sorry. In this little territory of mine, even a dragon has to coil, even a tiger has to lie low." Wang Hao clearly couldn't care less about this lousy rule. He pulled a stack of 100 yuan bills from his wallet, must be 1,000 or so. He slapped it right on the greasy table. "Rules are rigid, but people are flexible. We're in a hurry, no time to eat here. This money. Is it enough?" He held his chin high, looking down his nose at me. I stared at the stack of cash, blindingly red. The customers around me all stopped eating. They glanced over out of curiosity. In their eyes I saw nosiness, sympathy, and even contempt. My face burned, not from shame, but from anger. This was pure humiliation. He thought money could buy anything. He thought cash could break the rule my dad held for 30 years. "I don't want your money." I pushed the stack back, my voice as cold as ice. I said no takeout, period. If you want to eat, sit and eat here. If not, the door's right there, no one's stopping you. My attitude completely pissed off Wang Hao. His face darkened, and he slammed the table so hard the vinegar bottle jumped. You son of a bitch, you don't know when to take a hint. You're just a bun seller, what are you so cocky about? Believe me, I'll make this shithole of yours shut down by tomorrow. Brother Wong, don't be mad. Lin Yu quickly tugged at him, her voice so syrupy it gave me goosebumps. Then she turned to me. Looking at me with a hint of Victor's pity, she said, Chan Hui, why bother with this? Brother Wong is a big shot. Coming to your dump for breakfast is already doing you a favor. It's just packing up a few buns. Just make an exception and be done with it. Why make such a fuss? What good does it do you? He paused. His tone shifted to that of scolding a clueless child. You're still the same as in college, poor and stubborn. Your dad spent his whole life running this dump. What's he ever accomplished? And look at you. A degree from a top university, and what have you got? Back selling buns. Why are you trying to compete with me? Are you even worthy? That's not for you to decide, I said, staring him down word by word. This is my family's shop, our family's rule. My dad sold buns his whole life. He raised me with this. I'm not ashamed. But you'll follow anyone for money. Aren't you ashamed? Lin Yu's face instantly turned purple. My words clearly struck a nerve. Chan Hui. What did you say? Wang Hao was furious. He rolled up his sleeves and came at me to throw a punch. Stop right there. I grabbed the cleaver used for cutting steamed buns and slammed it onto the chopping board. The whole board shook. I said, my eyes red as I glared at him. Try hitting me. I grew up fighting in the village in the city. Sure, being a white-collar worker these past few years has softened me a bit, but the fire's still in my blood. If it really came to a fight, this bloated, booze and women-drained fatty wouldn't stand a chance against me. Wang Hao was stunned by my move. He looked at the knife in my hand, then at my murderous glare, and backed off. The atmosphere in the shop hit absolute zero. The customers around us didn't dare to breathe. Fine. You're tough. Chen Hui, right? I'll remember you. Let's go. He grabbed Lin Yu to leave, but she shook off his hand. She stared at me, her eyes full of venom. Suddenly she rushed to the steamer and, before I could react, threw open the steamer lid. The scalding steam made her shriek, but she still quickly grabbed a few meat buns from inside and stuffed them into her designer bag in one fluid motion. Not only am I taking them to go, but I'm not paying a cent today. What are you going to do about it? She screamed at me. Her face twisted with vengeful glee. I was completely stunned. I never expected her to pull a stunt like this. This wasn't just spite anymore, it was tantrum, it was thuggery. The rule my dad set, the principle I defended all morning. In that moment, it all felt like a joke. Wang Hao was stunned for a second, then burst into laughter. Well done, Xiaoya. That's how you deal with people like him. He smugly wrapped his arm around Lin Yu, giving me a defiant look. Then the two of them swaggered out of the shop. They disappeared at the alley entrance. I stood there, still gripping that cold cleaver. My mind was blank. The customers around me started whispering. Ah, poor Xiao Chun. Such bad luck. Running into someone like that, it's your ex-girlfriend, right? Judging by the vibe, she came here to cause a scene. Yeah, that's what I heard people whispering. I felt all the strength drain out of me. I slowly put down the cleaver and slumped onto the stool in defeat. That stack of cash Wang Hao had thrown down was still on the table, but all I felt was a sick irony. I'd resisted the temptation of money, but I couldn't hold on to my dad's rule. I lost completely. I didn't know how to explain this to my dad. If he found out I let a customer take the meat buns to go, especially like this, he'd jump out of his hospital bed and beat me to death. I ran my hands through my hair in frustration and pulled out my phone. I thought about it but still didn't dare call him. Forget it. They're just some buns. It's not like he'll actually break my legs. At worst, he'll yell at me. I tried to comfort myself with that, but that knot of dread in my chest kept tightening. Right then, my phone suddenly started ringing like crazy. The caller ID said Dad. My heart dropped. I had a bad feeling. I took a deep breath and hit answer. Hey Dad, did you let a customer take the meat buns to go? On the other end, my dad's voice wasn't the weak whisper from this morning. It was filled with terror and rage like I'd never heard. It was so sharp it felt like it would pierce my eardrums. Dad, calm down. Listen to me, no time for that. Go chase them down. Get those buns back or something big is going to happen. His voice didn't sound like a sick man's at all. The panic and urgency coming through the phone made my hand holding the phone tremble. Dad, don't panic. Listen to me, listen my ass. He didn't give me a chance to speak. His voice cracked as he yelled. I'm asking you, was it a woman? Did she come in a nice car? Did she snatch the buns? My mind went blank. How did he know? Isn't he in the hospital? Does he have eyes everywhere? My dad seemed to guess what I was thinking. His voice rushed. Don't ask how I know. Right now, this instant, you go and get them back. Every single bun they took. Go now. But Dad, they're just some buns. Is it really that serious? They're long gone. Where am I supposed to chase them? I still thought he was overreacting. It was just Lin Yu being a bitch, grabbing some buns to spite me. That's a big deal? Yes, it is. Very much so. Chen Hui, I'm telling you, this isn't as simple as you think. If you still call me your dad, get your ass out there and find them. If you don't bother coming back. He hung up. I stood there, phone in hand, frozen. A few customers still eating in the shop were staring at me like I was crazy. My dad's lost it. Disowning his son over some buns? What kind of logic is that? I was pissed and panicked. And there was this strange fear. My dad never flinches, even if the sky falls. What was wrong with him today? That bone-deep terror in his voice. I felt it even through the phone. Xiao Hui, what did your dad say? I shook my head. My mind was a tangled mess. I'm stepping out. Just leave the money on the table when you're done. I didn't care anymore. I ripped off my work apron, tossed it on the table, and bolted out the door. My dad's reaction was way too off. There's definitely something I don't know about this. Whatever it is. I had to find Lin Yu first. But where? The alleyways in the village twisted and turned. Like a spiderweb, I ran to the entrance of the alley and stared at the busy road, completely lost. A white Land Rover should stand out around here, but I hadn't even noticed which way they drove off. I was spinning in panic. Then it hit me. I still had Lin Yu's number. After the breakup, I'd blocked her on everything, but that string of digits was burned into my brain. No matter how hard I tried to forget, I fumbled to pull it out of my blacklist and dialed. Sorry, the number you dialed is busy. Please try again later. Busy, my ass. She definitely blocked me. I tried a different approach. WeChat. Good thing I hadn't deleted her yet. I sent a voice call. I waited a long time. Just when I thought she wouldn't pick up, the call connected. Shenhui, why are you calling? You want me to give the buns back? I'll tell you, I won't let you have a single bite. Where are you now? I practically choked out the words. The phone went silent for a few seconds, like I'd scared him with my attitude. Then I heard Wang Hao's greasy voice. Who is it? Xiaoya? That bun seller again? Isn't she ever going to let it go? Tell her if she keeps bothering you, I'll get someone to take care of her. You hear me? Lin Yu, listen to me. Take those buns out of your bag and throw them away, okay? I'm begging you. I forced myself to calm down, tried to make my voice sound less terrifying. Instead of trying to get them back, I'd rather have her get rid of those damn buns. As long as they're gone, I can explain to my dad. Throw them away? Why should I? Chun Hui, have you lost your mind? They're just some lousy steamed buns. Is it that serious? Is your dad that neurotic too? I'm not throwing them away. I'm taking them home and eating them one by one, slowly. It'll drive you crazy. Fine, I don't have time to talk. Brother Wang is taking me to the mall to buy a handbag. Hey, don't go. Those buns are bad. You can't eat them. Bad? What do you mean? Did you poison them? If you did, I'd be even happier. I'll get to taste them. If I die, I'll take you down with me. Click. The phone hung up again. I slammed my fist into the utility pole next to me. The skin on my arm tore, burning hot. That stupid woman. She has no idea how serious this is. But the stupidest one right now is me. I don't even know what's going on. I dialed my dad's number again. This time he picked up fast. Where is she? Did you find out? No. He blocked me. He won't tell me where he is. He said he's going to eat those buns. Dad, tell me what's wrong with those buns. If you don't explain, how can I find them? Where am I supposed to look? There was silence on the other end. A long silence. All I could hear was his heavy breathing, like he was holding back immense pain and fear. Dad, say something. Go look for them at the Golden Splendor Mall on the west side of town. That guy, I've seen him before. He's a regular at Golden Splendor. They said they were going to the mall, so they'll definitely go to the biggest one in the city center. How do you know? Don't ask how I know. He cut me off impatiently again. Go now. Take a taxi. Hurry. And listen. When you find them, do whatever it takes to get those buns back. If they've already eaten them. He paused, his voice trembling slightly. What happens if they eat them? Pressed. My heart pounding. If they've eaten them, then tell them. Whatever you do, don't look back. Don't answer anyone who calls your name. No matter what you see or hear, pretend it didn't happen. Just keep walking until you reach a crowded place. Somewhere with plenty of sunlight. Got it? My dad said all this fast and urgent. Every word like a nail hammered into my heart. Don't look back. Don't answer calls. What the hell is this? Sounds like one of those old ghost stories the elders tell. My mind was a mess, but my feet wouldn't stop. I ran to the curb, hailed a taxi. Driver, city center. The Golden Splendor Mall. Go. The car started, speeding away from this oppressive urban village. I leaned against the window, watching the streets blur past, that uneasy feeling growing stronger. Dad, what are you hiding from me? The taxi stopped at the entrance of the Golden Splendor Mall in the city center. I threw the driver $100, didn't even wait for change, and sprinted inside. I'd been to this mall before, back when I was still with Lin Yu. I was a broke student then. She dragged me into those accessory shops, and I couldn't even muster the courage to go inside. I'd just stand awkwardly at the entrance. Now here I was looking for her. How ironic. The air conditioning inside was ice cold, a completely different world from my greasy breakfast joint. Well-dressed men and women walked past me, leaving trails of expensive perfume. Their eyes carried a hint of disgust. I suddenly realized I was still wearing my sweat-stained clothes, my hair a mess, completely out of place. But I didn't care anymore. I took out my phone, thought about calling Lin Yu again, but saw I was still blocked. I had to search floor by floor, from cosmetics on the first floor to women's clothing on the second. Then to men's wear on the third floor. I was darting through the crowd like a headless fly. My eyes scanned every face desperately. Nothing, no Lin Yu. And no sign of that fat guy named Wang Hao. Maybe they never came here or maybe they already left. Could my dad's information be wrong? The more I searched, the more panicked I got, cold sweat all over my forehead. Time was ticking away. My dad's terrified tone on the phone kept echoing in my head. Something big is going to happen. Something big. What the hell could happen? I ran to the dining area on the 4th floor. Still nothing. Maybe they went to the movie theater? I ran up to the theater on the top floor. I looked around at the ticket booth and the entrance for a long time but didn't see any familiar faces. I was completely out of ideas. I leaned against the wall, feeling all my strength drain away. Trying to find 2 people in such a huge mall was like looking for a needle in a haystack. What should I do? Give up? Just treat this as a ridiculous morning. My dad going on some crazy rant for no reason, and me running here like an idiot. No, my dad's reaction couldn't be fake. I could feel that genuine fear in him. I took a deep breath, forcing myself to calm down. If I were Wang Hao, a rich, show-off fat guy with his new girlfriend, what would I do? Shop, buy things. Then what? He drove here, so where's the car? The underground parking garage. My eyes lit up as if I'd found my last lifeline. They'd have to come back for the car eventually. I immediately turned and sprinted to the elevator, pressing the button for the basement garage. The elevator doors opened, and a cold, damp air hit me, a sharp contrast to the warm mall upstairs. The garage was huge and empty, the lights dim. Rows of cars sat silently like dormant beasts. My footsteps echoed in the open space, every step unnervingly clear. I walked slowly, carefully searching for that white Land Rover. The garage was huge, divided into several sections. I started from section A, checking row by row. The temperature here was much lower than upstairs. I couldn't help shivering, maybe it was psychological. I kept feeling a chill on my back, like someone was watching me. I spun around suddenly. Behind me, nothing, just rows of cold cars. I chuckled at myself, thinking my dad had really made me paranoid. I kept searching section B, section C. Finally, in the corner of section D, I saw that familiar white Land Rover. I remembered the license plate too, ends with 3/8. That's it. I pressed my face to the window and looked inside. On the passenger seat was Lin Yu's designer bag. The Buns must be inside. I tried the door handle locked. What now? Smash the window? No, then I'd go from being right to being wrong. Wang Hao would definitely call the cops on me. I had to wait. I didn't believe they wouldn't come for the car. I found a pillar and hid behind it, staring at that Land Rover like a hawk. Time ticked by. The garage was terrifyingly quiet, just the buzzing fluorescent lights overhead. And occasional drips from somewhere, drip, drip, drip. That sound hammered against my heart, making me more and more agitated. I pulled out my phone to check the time, almost noon. Why weren't they coming down? Were they not leaving? Was I going to wait here all day? Just as I was about to lose patience, the elevator doors in the distance dinged open. I quickly pulled back, peeking half my head out from behind the pillar. 2 people stepped out, a man and a woman. It was Lin Yu and Wang Hao. They were carrying bags and bags of stuff, looking like they'd had a successful shopping trip. Lin Yu was laughing and giggling, practically hanging off Wang Hao's arm. Wang Hao looked smug, his beer belly sticking out, acting like he was the center of the universe. I clenched my fists so hard my nails nearly dug into my palms. Now, I took a deep breath, ready to rush out. But then, something strange happened. Wang Hao walked to the car and was about to open the door, when he suddenly stopped, as if sensing something. He whipped his head around, looking straight toward where I was hiding. Startled, I yanked my head back, my heart pounding wildly. Did he spot me? Impossible, I was hiding so well. I waited a few seconds, didn't hear anything, then carefully poked my head out. Wang Hao was still staring in my direction. But she wasn't looking at me, she was looking at the pillar behind me. Her face had a really strange expression. Confused, and a little bit scared. What's wrong, Brother Wang? Nothing, nothing. Wang Hao shook his head. Turning around, he muttered under his breath, weird. I thought I saw a figure just now. My heart tightened. What did she see? Behind me was just the pillar. Behind the pillar was the wall. Nothing there. Ah, you must be seeing things. Come on, open the car door. I'm exhausted. My feet are about to fall off. Lin Yu urged impatiently. Wang Hao grunted in agreement. He pulled out his car keys, pressed the button, and the Range Rover's lights flashed twice. She pulled open the door. Just as she was about to put the stuff inside, she stopped. This time she looked up at the roof. Her face instantly turned pale. Did you hear something? A sound? What sound? Isn't it just that broken light buzzing in the garage? Buzzing, so annoying. No, it's someone. Up there, scraping the roof with their fingernails. Wang Hao's eyes went wide, fixed on a spot on the roof. Sweat beaded on his forehead. Someone's scraping the roof? Ha 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 ha. Brother Wang, stop joking. It's broad daylight. Where would someone come from? Besides, there are cameras in this garage. Who would be that bold? Ha ha ha. She clearly thought this was a prank. Laughing, she looked up at the roof. See? There's nothing, ha ha ha. She stopped mid-sentence, her voice choking off. The smile froze on her face. I hid behind the pillar, my heart in my throat. What did they see? Following their gaze, I craned my neck to look at the roof of the Range Rover. Nothing. The smooth roof reflected cold light under the dim lights. Forget a person. Not even a hair. So what were they scared of? Let's go. Let's go now. Wang Hao suddenly yelped like a cat with its tail stepped on, throwing the shopping bags on the ground. He grabbed Lin Yu and tried to shove her into the car. His movements were clumsy with fear. Lin Yu was terrified too, her face ashen, lips trembling. She couldn't say a word, letting Wang Hao push her into the passenger seat. Couldn't let them leave. My dad said I had to get the Buns back. My mind went blank. Forgetting about how creepy it was, I charged out from behind the pillar. Stop right there. My sudden appearance clearly scared the hell out of both of them. Wang Hao flinched. The car keys dropped from his hand. Lin Yu even screamed, looking at me, like she'd seen a ghost. Chun Hui, what are you doing here? I'm here to get my stuff back. Give me back my family's buns. Buns? Yeah, Buns. I told you. Our family's buns can't be taken out. Give them back, and we'll call it even. Are you crazy? Over a few lousy buns, you followed us from the village all the way here. You stalked us. I'm not asking. My gaze went past him, fixed on Lin Yu. She was frightened by my eyes, instinctively hugging the bag tighter. Hand over the buns. I grabbed them fair and square. Why should I give them back? You sure about that? Just then, Wang Hao shuddered again. He suddenly shrank his neck, swatting wildly at his shoulders and back, cursing under his breath. What the hell is this place? Why is it so cold? Why is the AC cranked so high? As he spoke, his breath fogged into white vapor. White vapor. The garage was chilly, but not cold enough for your breath to turn to frost. It was summer. I noticed. Wang Hao's lips had turned a shade of purple at some point. His face was getting worse by the second, like he just stepped out of a freezer. Brother Wang, you? What's wrong? I'm cold. So cold. Xiaoya, Xiaoya. I feel like behind me, like someone's breathing on me. He said it with a look of sheer terror. He glanced back at his own back. Behind him, there was nothing there, but I felt a chill shoot from the soles of my feet straight to the crown of my head. My dad's words echoed in my ears. If they've already eaten, don't look back. Don't answer anyone calling your name. My heart skipped a beat. Did you eat the buns? Got hungry on the way up the stairs? Bro Wang ate one. It's over. Those two words were all I could think. So cold. My shoulders are so heavy. Wang Hao started rambling. He curled up completely, hugging his arms, shaking nonstop. His designer suit was soaked through with cold sweat, sticking tight to his body. I stared at him. Then I suddenly noticed his right shoulder was a little more slumped than his left, as if something heavy was pressing down on it. Something I couldn't see. That thought hit me, and goosebumps covered my whole body. What the hell is going on? Chun Hui, look at Bro Wang. What's wrong with him? Look, Bro Wang, wake up. Don't scare me. Cold sweat. My shoulder. It hurts. Did you poison the buns? I didn't. Now's not the time to assign blame. I suddenly remembered the second half of what my dad said. Go where there are lots of people in the sun. Quick. Help him upstairs. Into the mall. There are people there. Upstairs? Lin Yu froze. No time for questions. Want him dead? Stay here. I rushed over and hooked one of Wang Hao's arms. His body was as stiff as iron. Even through his clothes I could feel a chill digging into his bones. And his body was terrifyingly heavy. I'm 6 feet tall, I work out regularly, but carrying him, I felt incredibly strained, like I wasn't carrying a person, but a pig. No, heavier than a pig. Lin Yu snapped out of it and quickly came to help. The two of us, one on each side, like dragging a dead dog, we hauled Wang Hao toward the elevator. Don't touch me. Behind. Someone's behind. His eyes, wide with terror, staring behind us. His pupils were dilated. I didn't dare look back. I gritted my teeth, using every ounce of strength, and dragged him into the elevator. The elevator doors slid shut slowly. In the last second before they closed, I thought I heard a faint, almost inaudible woman's sigh. That sound, filled with endless resentment and loneliness. The light in the elevator was white. It fell on Wang Hao's pale face, making it look especially eerie. He was still trembling, but it didn't seem as bad as in the parking garage. What's wrong with him? Lin Yu asked, her voice choked with tears. Panicked and lost. What could I tell her? Say he ate something he shouldn't have, and now something invisible is clinging to him? She'd think I was crazy. I don't know. That's all I could say. I pulled out my phone. My hands were shaking so much I couldn't even unlock the screen. After several tries, I finally got through to my dad. Dad, he ate one. My voice was trembling so much it sounded foreign even to me. On the other end, my dad let out a long sigh. That sigh, it sounded eerily similar to the one I'd heard at the elevator door. I stomped my foot in panic. The elevator was already cramped. When I moved, Lin Yu flinched and shrank into the corner. Wang Hao was still hanging on me. Like a lump of mud, he kept muttering about being cold, but his body was burning hot. This is a clash of fire and ice. Don't panic. The more you panic, the more that thing gets cocky. My dad's voice finally steadied a bit, but that heaviness crushed me. Now listen to me. Don't miss a single word. Okay, go ahead. I'm listening. First, ask that woman if the leftover buns are still in her bag. I glanced at Lin Yu immediately. They're with him. I didn't touch them. Good. That's a blessing in disguise. Right now, this instant, find a place with no people. A restroom, for example. What do we need a restroom for? Just go when I tell you. Stop wasting words. Once you're in the restroom, take out all the leftover buns. Then what? Find a lighter and set the buns on fire. Burn them to ashes. Then burn them to ashes. What? Burn them? Dad, we're in a mall. Burning stuff in a restroom will trigger the smoke alarm. When the security guards show up, how do we explain this? Explain my ass. Is it more important to get caught and treated like a lunatic or to let your heart die? You choose. I was left speechless. After burning them, burn them to ashes. The finer, the better. Then find a cup. Any cup will do. Put the ashes in it, then fill it with tap water. Tap water. Burn the buns. Burn them to ashes. Mix with water and drink. What kind of move is this? A curse? Dad, are you sure this works? This is basically making him eat incense ash. Can you even eat that? What if something goes wrong? Couldn't believe. My ears. Still better than letting that thing drag him into the wall. My dad's voice was cold as ice. Those buns were steamed over the hottest fire, the one with the strongest yang energy. They're needed with a lifetime of my essence. Now they've been tainted by yin energy, becoming a signal for the dark path. If the signal is cut off, that thing will keep following it until it drains every bit of yang energy from him. Hearing these words from my dad's mouth felt so foreign, yet so natural. My mind was a complete mess. Just then, the elevator reached the first floor. The doors opened, and the noisy crowd and warm air of the mall rushed in. Wang Hao seemed a bit better. At least he wasn't shaking as hard. Stop wasting time. Go do it. Remember, when you're doing this, that guy named Wang must not see it. And don't let him hear it, or no one, not even the gods, can save him. After saying that, my dad hung up. I looked at my phone, then at Lin Yu. She was staring back at me with a confused and terrified look. You heard all that. What now? I asked her, but I was really asking myself. Believe it or not. Believing it is too absurd, like a fairy tale. Not believing it. How else do you explain Wang Hao's half-dead state? Can a hospital cure this? Tell the doctor he feels something crawling on him? I'll find a lighter. Lin Yu gritted her teeth, like she'd made up her mind. She shoved Wang Hao into my arms and stumbled toward a convenience store in the mall. I was holding Wang Hao by myself. He felt heavier. His eyes were half open, half closed, full of pain and confusion, and he kept mumbling unconsciously. It gave me the creeps. I hurriedly dragged him into the men's restroom nearby. The restroom was empty. I propped him up against the wall, made him sit down, then locked the door. Lin Yu was back quickly, holding a brand new lighter, tear streaks still fresh on her face. The store clerk asked me why I was buying a lighter. I said it's for my dad to light his cigarette. Her voice cracked as she spoke. This was the same Lin Yu who used to strut around looking down on me. Right now he looked completely helpless. I didn't say a word. I took the lighter from his hand. His hands trembling, he pulled the remaining meat buns out of his designer bag. The buns had gone cold, sticky and goopy. On the white dough, they smelled of the cosmetics from his bag. But the weird thing was, in the folds of the buns, I thought I saw some black spots like mold. I remembered clearly. When I handed him the buns this morning, none of that was there. Just burn them. I nodded, placed the buns on the sink, and pressed the lighter. With a click, an orange-yellow flame shot up. I brought the flame close to the buns. Then something even stranger happened. The buns were made of flour with greasy meat filling inside. But as soon as the flame touched them, they burst into fire with a whoosh. And the flame wasn't normal orange-yellow. It was a weird, eerie green fire. A stench I couldn't describe instantly filled the whole bathroom. It didn't smell like burning meat, more like something that had rotted for a long time, and then been set on fire. Lin Yu and I couldn't help covering our noses. Even Wang Hao, cowering in the corner, seemed to smell it. He started struggling violently, making rasping sounds from his throat, like he was fighting something. Gritting my teeth, I threw the remaining buns into that green flame. The fire blazed even stronger. I could even hear sizzling sounds coming from the flames, like something being fried in oil, accompanied by faint, thin screams. The sound was sharp and high-pitched, not something a human could make. Lin Yu was so scared she collapsed onto the floor, covering her ears tightly. My own scalp crawled, but I didn't dare stop. Soon the buns were burned into a pile of black ash. That green flame slowly died out, and the stench faded. I looked at the black ash on the sink. Then at Wang Hao, who had gradually quieted down in the corner. I breathed a little easier. Now the cup. I used my hand to sweep the still warm ashes, bit by bit, into the cup. Then I turned on the faucet. Cold tap water gushed out. I filled the cup. The black ash spread in the water, turning the whole cup as murky as ink. Do you really have to drink it? If you don't, he might not be saved. Wang Hao, wake up. Shenhui, how do you feel? I think I just had a nightmare. There was a woman, clinging to my back the whole time, saying she was so hungry. Lin Yu and I exchanged a glance. We both saw fear in each other's eyes. Don't overthink it. I brought the cup to her lips. Come on. Drink some water. What is this? She stared at the dark, murky water, frowning. Antidote. Antidote. What the hell is this black stuff? Looks like ink. Is it drinkable? Drink it or don't. If you don't want to have that dream again, down this cup. My tone was hard, leaving no room for argument. Wang Hao hesitated. He looked at the cup in my hand, then at Lin Yu's pale face beside him, as if he understood something. What happened to me just now? He asked Lin Yu. Her lips moved, but she couldn't get a single word out. How could she say it? Say you got possessed? Crying and screaming in the garage. Like a crazy person? You were possessed. Possessed? Wang Hao let out a scoff, but it was uglier than crying. Chun Hui, have you been reading too many novels? This is the scientific age. Possessed my ass. Then you tell me, science explains why you were yelling about being cold in the garage, and saying someone was on your back? How does it explain your breath coming out white? The garage AC was too cold. I might have a cold. A cold makes you feel like someone's breathing in your ear, makes your shoulders feel like they're carrying a ton of weight. Wang Hao, stop kidding yourself. You ate my family's buns. There's something wrong with those buns. You admitted it, so you did poison them. I didn't poison them, but those buns really aren't something you can just take out of the shop to eat. My dad's rule isn't about some damn texture. It's to save the lives of people like you who don't believe. That's what I said. I don't know why I said it. Maybe it was that ball of the green flame, that stench, and the faint, almost imperceptible screams. Gave me a completely new, even a subversive understanding of my father and this Baozi shop. My words clearly stunned Wang Hao and Lin Yu. They both looked at me like I was a freak. What the hell does your dad do? He sells Baozi. An old man who's been selling Baozi for 30 years and sets a bunch of ridiculous rules. Drink or don't, it's up to you. All I can tell you is that this glass of water might be your only way out today. I've done what I can, said what I need to say. The choice is his. Wang Hao held that glass of black water, his hand shaking. He stared at the murky liquid inside the cup, his face shifting between emotions. The instinct to survive and the fear of the unknown waged war inside him. Time ticked by second. The bathroom was terrifyingly silent. Just drink it. Chun Hui won't hurt you. That was really scary just now. Maybe Lin Yu's words had gotten through to him, or maybe he'd finally come to terms with it himself. Wang Hao gritted his teeth, shut his eyes, tilted his head back, and downed that murky, black water. He drank it fast, as if afraid he might change his mind. After finishing, he threw the cup to the ground. Then he started coughing violently. What the hell is this stuff? Tastes like burnt dirt. He coughed and spit, looking completely pathetic. Lin Yu and I watched him nervously, not daring to breathe. Is it working? I wasn't sure if that whole mysterious trick of mine would really work, and right then, Wang Hao's coughing stopped. He suddenly clutched his stomach, and a look of extreme pain twisted his face. Chun Hui, what did you give me to drink? I was stunned. How could this happen? Weren't you supposed to feel better after drinking it? Why is it still hurting? Dad, what's wrong? Did he drink something? He drank it, but now his stomach hurts. Dad, is something wrong? Is there a problem? Don't be scared, right? Like he's not dying from the pain, but sure, right? That thing isn't so easy to get rid of. Dad, it's already in his stomach. You want to force it out? It's gonna hurt, Dad. He can't take much more. Wang Hao, hurry. Go to the stall. Wait, something dirty might come out. Once it's out, he'll be fine. Before I could even react, Wang Hao went crazy. He jumped up from the floor, stumbling, and rushed into the nearest stall. Bam! He slammed the door shut. Then I heard this earth-shattering sound. Loud, long, with an echo. Right after that came a stench 100 times stronger. Then when the buns were burning. Words can't describe that smell. It was like a truckload of rotten eggs mixed with spoiled fish, plus a ton of aged shit, all fermenting in a sewer for 100 years, then suddenly exploding. Lin Yu was the first to break. She leaned against the wall and threw up. I was dizzy from the stench too. My stomach churned. I swear I've never smelled anything that foul in my life. My dad's breakfast joint has smells of grease, sweat, swill, everything. But I've never been this disgusted. What did he crap out? I don't know. And I don't want to know. I just hope the smell goes away fast. The toilet flushed. Then the door creaked open. Wang Hao walked out holding the doorframe. His face was still pale, but not that purplish blue from before. His clothes were soaked with sweat. He looked like he'd just been pulled out of the water, completely drained, but his eyes were clear again. I'm fine. Do you still feel something clinging to you? No, it's gone. That feeling was gone. My back wasn't cold anymore, and my shoulders weren't heavy. He jumped up and down excitedly twice. Even though my legs were still a little weak, it worked. My dad's method actually worked. I let out a long sigh, feeling completely drained myself. This morning had been more intense than my entire 20-plus years of life combined. Wang Hao walked up to me with a complicated look on his face. He stared at me, his lips moving as if he wanted to say something, but nothing came out. Finally, he pulled out his wallet from his pocket and took out all the cash inside, maybe around 10,000. He pulled it all out and shoved it into my hand. Take this. Thank you for today. There was no more arrogance or superiority in his voice like there was this morning. Instead, there was a newfound sense of awe. Toward me, or maybe toward my dad, or toward the mysterious Bowsy shop my family runs. Chan Hui. I'm sorry, and thank you. I looked down at the money in my hand, then back at them. I suddenly found it a little funny. This morning they used money to humiliate me. Now they used money to thank me. It was the same cash, but the meaning had completely changed. So your dad really is something in this line of work. His eyes darted back and forth between me, my dad's identity as a Bowsy shop owner, and everything that had just happened, those bizarre events. Obviously, a simple Bowsy seller couldn't convince him anymore. How was I supposed to answer? Should I say I don't know either? I looked at him, then at Lin Yu. Suddenly, a thought popped into my head, one that even startled me. You want to know? I imitated my dad's manner and gave a deep, mysterious smile. Come to my shop tonight. I'll explain everything slowly. Even I was stunned for a second when I said that. What was I doing? Inviting them to my family's shop, the place my dad said I should stay away from forever? Explain everything slowly? Explain what? I was still completely clueless myself. Just moments ago I felt like a total idiot, but somehow, when those words left my mouth, I felt a strange sense of satisfaction. Watching the shock, curiosity, and even a hint of fear on Wang Hao and Lin Yu's faces, I felt like I had clawed back some ground. I was no longer that poor guy humiliated in public by his ex-girlfriend and her new sugar daddy. I was someone who held a secret they didn't understand, even if that someone didn't know anything either. Go to your shop? The look on Wang Hao's face was priceless, like he wanted to go but was afraid. Everything he had been through today had completely shattered his worldview. The way he was looking at me now was like he was staring at some kind of charlatan wearing human skin. What's scared? Who's scared? Wang Hao immediately straightened his back. A rich man's pride couldn't be lost. Fine, we'll go. What time? Come after 10 tonight. After Wang Hao said that, he glanced at Lin Yu again. The two of them, trembling together, stumbled out of the restroom. The stench hadn't faded yet, so I quickly escaped too. Standing in the bright mall lobby, breathing in the pleasant scent of perfume in the air, I felt like everything that had just happened was a surreal dream. Green flames, that foul smell, black liquid, and Wang Hao's earth-shattering bathroom episode. None of it felt real. I looked down, at the thick stack of cash in my hand, then at the still damp bloodstain on the back of my hand. That clearly told me it was all real. My dad's breakfast shop in the urban village, run for 30 years, held a secret I knew absolutely nothing about. And that secret, because of Lin Yu's appearance today, had been peeled back just a tiny bit. I took out my phone, hesitated for a moment, and then dialed my dad's number. Dad, it's handled. Good, that's good. Keep that money for yourself. Bend it. You worked hard today. Dad, don't you think you owe me an explanation? Explanation for what? Didn't I already tell you? Those Bowsy can't be taken out. That's not what I'm talking about. Yang energy in energy incense box. And that thing. What is all this? What kind of family are we? I blurted out all the questions in my mind. My dad went silent again. This time, the silence lasted even longer. Ahui. Some things are better left unknown. You go your way, I'll guard my bridge. That's no good. No good. If I hadn't stumbled onto this today, Wang Hao might be dead. What about next time? If there is a next time, and I'm still clueless like an idiot, do you think I can handle it? Dad, I'm grown up. I'm not a kid anymore. I have the right to know the truth. The truth is that the Chun family, generation after generation, has been cooking for what's underneath the Great Wall Village. Cooking? For who? Dad? My dad dropped those 3 words so casually, my head buzzed, like I'd been hit hard by a sledgehammer. I'd suspected it, but hearing it from my dad's own mouth, the impact almost made me lose my footing. This shop of ours is here, hasn't moved in 30 years, just to keep whatever's down there contained. Every day before dawn, the first batch of meat buns comes out, the strongest yang energy. They're the offering. If they eat them directly, they gain strength, and come up to harm people, so they have to be eaten. Here, by a living person. With all the human warmth this shop has built up over the years, that yang energy gets sealed in the buns. Then, through the living person's digestive cycle, the incense is sent down below. But if they're taken away in a to-go box, if they're taken away, freshly steamed buns are like a bright lantern in the dark. They attract every filthy thing around. Whoever eats that bun is basically opening a door. For those things, they'll follow you, cling to you, until they suck you dry. What my dad said, the sheer amount of information, I couldn't process it all at once. I felt like I wasn't listening to my dad, but to a myth, a dark, eerie myth about our family's bun shop. How would Lin Yu have known when she grabbed the buns? I asked another key question. I don't know, but I felt it. Felt it. This craft of ours, passed down to me, is the 9th generation. Working with these things every day, you develop a kind of intuition. Every bun carries my energy. The moment it got contaminated, my heart felt like it was stabbed. Then I understood why he sounded so terrified on the phone. A woman driving a luxury car. So he knew everything, he just kept it from me. Why didn't you tell me sooner? Tell you what? So you'd end up like me, stuck in this grimy little shop your whole life, dealing with these shady things every day? My biggest wish has always been for you to get far away from this place. My dad's words hit me like a hammer, right in the heart. I always thought he didn't want me to take over because I was clumsy, because he thought I couldn't handle the hardship. It never occurred to me he was trying to protect me, in his own way. With that silent, even stubborn fatherly love, he was shielding me from all this filth. Dad, that's enough. A grown man, crying like this, what kind of look is that? The matter's resolved. You've had a long day. Head home and rest. We'll handle the shop tomorrow. No, Dad, I'm not going home tonight. What do you mean, not going home? I've made plans. I invited Wang Hao and Lin Yu tonight at 10 to our shop. I took a deep breath. I've never felt so clear-headed and determined in my life. They want to know what our family really does. And I want to know too. So Dad, tonight everything you know. Tell me. I'm taking over this shop. My dad fell silent on the phone. A full minute. I could even hear his breathing turn rapid with shock. What did you say? Say that again. I said I'm taking over this shop starting today. Starting now. Are you crazy? My dad finally blew up. His voice went right back to that furious state. Chenhui, let me tell you, I worked my ass off to get you out of here, to send you to college, to make you a white-collar worker, not so you could come back to this godforsaken place. Do you even know what you're saying? I do. I answered calmly. I've never been more sure, Dad. You've protected me for over 20 years. That's enough. Now, it's my turn. Your turn? Your turn to do what? Take over the family business. Stay here dealing with a bunch of starving ghosts, and spend the rest of your life trapped in this little shop, never going anywhere? Is that the life you want? I don't know if it's the life I want. I answered honestly, but before today I never even had the chance to choose. You took all the danger and the dirt onto yourself, and left me with nothing but a seemingly glamorous, normal life. But that life was fake. It was floating in the air with no roots. Today, I finally feel like I've got my feet on the ground. I looked at my hands, covered in dough flour, red marks from burns, scrapes from slamming into a utility pole. These hands, today they chopped vegetables, minced meat, held a knife and saved a life. They're dirty, they're tired, but they're real. Dad, you always said, our family's buns are all about a certain spirit. I never understood before. Now I kind of get it. That spirit isn't just the steam from the food. It's the vitality of a living person. It's the responsibility passed down in the Chun family's blood. Responsibility? Bullshit responsibility. My dad cursed on the other end. This is fate. A curse. A shackle our Chun ancestors could never shake off. I worked so hard to get you out. Why would you jump back in yourself? Because I'm your son. Because my last name is Chun. If this is fate, then I'll take it. If this is a curse, then I'll break it. I can't let you carry it alone. For your whole life. After I said that, the other end went silent again. This time, I didn't hear silence or a sigh. I heard a low, choked sob. My dad was crying. That man, who in my memory was always stern, always impatient, always expressing everything through his pipe and his yelling. He was crying. I held the phone, standing in the middle of a crowded mall, and I couldn't hold back my tears either. The two of us, father and son, had never had such an honest conversation. Through a phone line, there was always something between us, the greasy counter, the rising steam, that line, you're just a kid. Why ask so many questions? Today, that barrier was finally broken. You really thought this through? After a long time, my dad spoke again, his voice extremely hoarse. I have no regrets. No regrets. Fine. Then tonight, get everything in the shop ready. Think it through. And that black wooden box under my bed, take it out too. Black wooden box? Yeah. You'll know when the time comes. As for Wang Hao and Lin Yu, let them come. Some things, it's time for those outsiders to find out, so that from now on, if anyone else doesn't believe it, they won't dare to take on this challenge. Okay. I hung up the phone, feeling like a huge weight had been lifted off my chest. Although the road ahead is full of the unknown and eerie, I feel an unprecedented sense of security, because I know that from today onward, I am no longer alone. I am not that white-collar worker Chen Hui drifting in the city. Without a home, I am the young master of old Chen's shop. Chen Hui, I went back home. That old house where my father lived alone after my mother passed away is just above the breakfast shop. The house is very old, but my father kept it very clean. Following his instructions, I found under the bed that black wooden box. The box is made of sandalwood, very heavy. There is no lock on it, only an ancient bronze clasp. I did not open it. Intuition told me that whatever is inside must be with my father, or only opened with his permission. I also found incense, candles, and paper money. These things are always kept at home. My father would bring them out during holidays, to pay respects to my mother and our ancestors. I used to think it was just superstition, but now it seems maybe it wasn't only ancestors being worshipped. Everything was ready. I returned to the shop. The sky was gradually getting dark. The night in the urban village is more lively than the daytime. People off work, the hawking of street vendors, the laughter and play of children, all came together into a noisy but vibrant symphony. This must be what my father called the worldly flavor. I didn't open for business. I just turned on all the lights in the shop and started cleaning. I wiped every table and every bench clean with a rag. I scrubbed the grease stains on the floor with a brush over and over. I worked very seriously, very devotedly, as if performing a sacred ritual. I was using my actions to tell this shop, to tell whatever might exist in this shop, that I was back. At around 9 in the evening, I got a call from my father. "Ah oui, listen, when they come later, don't say anything. Let them sit in the shop first. Then, at exactly 10 o'clock, you open a new batch of steamed buns exactly on time. Remember, from kneading the dough to putting them in the steamer, everything must be done before 10. As soon as the 10 o'clock bell rings, lift the lid immediately." Why 10 o'clock? Is it because the energy is strongest, and it's also their dinner time? Open the steamer at dinner time. Do I also need to let the living eat it, like you said? No, this batch tonight is not for the living. Not for the living? Then who is it for? You bring the buns out, place them on the steps at the shop entrance, arrange the chairs in a row, and then burn paper money beside them, light 3 sticks of incense. Isn't this summoning spirits? Doesn't this mean directly offering sacrifices to them? Didn't you say that doing this would make them harm people? Usually, yes. But today it's different. My father's voice carried a kind of danger I couldn't understand. Today, the young master of the Chin family is making an offering to them for the first time. This is the rule, paying respects to the local powers. You need to let them know that from now on, in this shop, who calls the shots. You need to show them your sincerity, and also show them your rules. This batch of buns is an open offering to tell them that the Chin family has changed hands. From tomorrow onward, they have to follow our rules. If they want to eat, they have to wait patiently. The living give them plenty. I listened, half understanding, half not, but I still memorized his words carefully in my heart. At 9:50, I put the last tray of buns into the steamer. White steam soon filled the air. Just then, 2 familiar figures appeared at the shop entrance. It was Wang Hao and Lin Yu. They had changed clothes and looked much more energetic than during the day. But the unease and nervousness on their faces were impossible to hide. They stood at the entrance, staring at the brightly lit shop and me busy inside. They hesitated for a moment, afraid to come in. I didn't look up. I just said flatly, "You're here. Then come in and sit. There are still 10 minutes until 10 o'clock. Wang Hao and Lin Yu. Then come in and sit. There are still 10 minutes until 10 o'clock. Wang Hao and Lin Yu walked in cautiously, like 2 kids visiting the city for the first time, wary and curious about everything around them. They chose the table closest to the door and sat down, sitting up straight, not knowing what to do with their hands. I ignored them, kept busy with my work, kneading dough, mixing filling, wrapping buns. My movements weren't fast, but steady. Every step seemed like a memory carved into my bones. The shop was very quiet, just the sound of me kneading dough and the gurgling of boiling water from the steamer baskets. Wang Hao and Lin Yu didn't speak, just watched me. Their gaze shifted from initial curiosity to slow surprise. They probably never expected that someone like me, a white-collar worker who looks like a frail bookworm, could handle these rough tasks so skillfully, even with an indescribable rhythm. "You do this a lot?" "Since I was a kid." "Then why'd you go to college and work in an office?" That question hit me like a needle, stabbing into my heart. I stopped what I was doing and looked up at him. "Because my dad didn't want me to do this." I looked him straight in the eyes and said word by word, "Because he thinks selling buns is shameful." Lin Yu's face went pale instantly. She knew I said that for him to hear, but also for myself. There was a time when I thought it was shameful too. I thought my dad sticking to this rundown shop was pathetic. I thought being covered in the smell of cooking oil meant I was beneath others. I desperately tried to escape, to prove I was different from them. But today, I realized I was wrong. Dead wrong. I didn't look at him. I lowered my head and kept wrapping my buns. The atmosphere grew even more oppressive than before. The old clock on the wall ticked away, each tick striking everyone's heart. 9:57. 9:58. 9:59. When the second hand pointed to the very top, the clock struck 10 with a deep, resonant clang. Long and heavy. Right as the first chime sounded, I threw open the steamer lid. A burst of white steam, several times thicker than during the day, mixed with scorching meat aroma, gushed out, filling the whole small shop. The steam was so thick it was like an impenetrable fog. I couldn't even make out the faces of Wang Hao and Lin Yu across from me. I could feel they were startled by the sudden change, their bodies shrinking back. "Don't move, don't make a sound," I said in a low voice, not loud, but in the silent shop it was extremely clear. They indeed dared not move. Carefully, I took out the 10 freshly steamed meat buns from the steamer. The buns were plump and white, bigger than the daytime ones, with clearer pleats. Under the light, they even had a glossy sheen. Then, carrying the tray, I walked step by step toward the shop entrance. Every step I took was steady. I could feel countless eyes watching me from the shadows. The terrified looks from Wang Hao and Lin Yu inside the shop, and also from outside, from things I couldn't see. They were waiting for the offering in my hands. I walked to the door but didn't step out. Instead, I placed the tray firmly on the top step of the two-step stairs at the entrance. 10 buns. Lined up in a row. Then I stepped back inside, reached under the counter, and took out the paper money box and candles I had prepared earlier. I lit the candles and placed them on either side of the door. The candle flames flickered, stretching my shadow long and thin on the ground. Then I lit a stack of paper money and threw it into the iron basin by the door. The flames shot up, turning the paper to ash, spinning in the night breeze, flying off to some unknown place. Finally, I lit 3 incense sticks. Holding the incense with both hands, I bowed 3 times respectfully toward the deep darkness outside the shop door. Neighbors and brothers from all directions, my voice is not loud, but I will make sure everyone inside and outside the shop can hear. My name is Chun Hui, the new head of Chun Ji's old shop. Today, as a newcomer, I have prepared a small gift. It's not much, consider it my way of paying respects. In the past, my father was here. If he was inhospitable or offended anyone, from now on I will take over. The rules of the Chun family will not change. Every morning, the first basket of buns is full of spirit, ensuring everyone a full meal. But rules are rules. What shouldn't be taken cannot be taken. What shouldn't be eaten cannot be eaten. Today's incident is considered a first offense, and it's also due to my family's lax supervision. So let it go. If there is a next time, don't blame Chun Hui for being merciless. I'll turn ruthless. After saying that, I inserted the 3 incense sticks in my hand into the incense burner at the door. After finishing all this, I turned and went back into the shop. I did not look back at those buns. But I could feel the temperature outside drop a few more degrees. The night wind blew, bringing a rustling sound, as if many people were scrambling for something, or as if many people were crying softly. Wang Hao and Lin Yu were terrified. They huddled together, their faces pale as paper. The way they looked at me was like they were seeing a demon crawling out of hell. I ignored them. I walked over to a table and sat down, poured myself a cup of tea. Sit down. They trembled and sat down across from me. Who were you just talking to? What do you think, Master Chun? Wang Hao spoke up. His address for me had changed from Chun Hui to Master Chun. Those buns. They will eat them. Once they finish, they will disperse. The 3 of us just sat in the shop like that, none of us speaking. After about 10 minutes, that eerie cold feeling outside gradually faded, replaced by the normal hustle and bustle of the urban village night. I stood up at